Hello and welcome to Simlify. My name is Amy and today we are building an igloo. I don't know why. One of the main reasons I wanted to build an igloo was because I've never done it before, and also I think I'm just craving snow because we have had no snow here in the UK, where I live in the UK, and it's been Christmas and I was really hoping for a white Christmas, as always. And I've seen pictures of snow in other countries and even in certain areas of the UK, a bit more north than I am. And yeah, I just really needed some snow in my life. So I'm making an igloo in The Sims. And at the moment, as you can see, I am building it in kind of summer, I suppose. And that was just so that I could see absolutely everything, so that the floor wasn't completely covered in snow. And then at the end of the build, you'll see in the screenshots, it's winter and it's all snowy and it looks very idyllic. So I was just playing around a little bit with the roofing to find out which would be the best, and it seemed that, if I built the room and then had the roof on the same level as the room and then just had it tall enough to cover the whole room, then you get this dome effect, but the rooms are still usable. I also wanted to have a hot tub in the middle of the snow, which will come later, because when I was looking up igloos on Google Images, I was really inspired by one that it wasn't even a real igloo. I think it was like a hotel, maybe just one with like cabins in the snow, and one of them had this kind of plunge pool in the middle of the snow, like these snowy hills, and I just loved it. So I knew that that's what I wanted to have in this build. So I've made sure everything is white because obviously we want this to be playable throughout the seasons, if you are having seasons in The Sims. And then just making sure that the hot tub or jacuzzi, whatever you want to call it, is sitting right. And it took a little bit of time for me to just get all of the terrain right, but I was quite happy with it in the end. And because we have the roofing coming right down to the floor, we can actually build up the terrain so it looks like it's touching the igloo, which you can't do just with rooms. So if you build up the terrain around a wall, it creates a very, very small gap between the wall and the terrain. So having the roof come all the way down to the floor made it absolutely seamless, and you'll see later in the screenshots that when we add snow, it just looks like the snow is completely covering the whole igloo and all of the little hilly bits around it too. So I decided that I wanted this to be a 1-bedroom igloo, but I do think there is some room to expand if you want to. You'll notice in a bit that it's fairly spacious, and we've got this kind of like brick effect because I wanted it to look like blocks of snow and ice, and then just to kind of get around the roof issue, you can see for a little bit there it was kind of sticking through the wall and it just had to, so I created a little wall around the bits of roof that stuck through, and we kind of use those as a feature, which you will see later. So I'm just adding in the kitchen right now, and it took me a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted the kitchen, because the issue when you have any room that has diagonal walls in it, things don't really snap to them the way that you want them to, and so it takes a little while just to kind of figure out. You can't have like a corner piece of cabinets because they are at a 90-degree angle, and this isn't. This is at a 45-degree angle because of diagonals and maths. So it took a little while, but we got there in the end. And I wanted this igloo to be very kind of neutral colours, kind of whites. I think there's a little bit of blues and then some kind of light wood effects, just to keep it all very snowy and to kind of it's kind of a little bit whimsical, I think. it ends up being quite pretty, I think. I mean, you may think differently, let me know in the comments below. And while you are writing your comments and engaging with this video, do give it a like if you end up liking it, and of course subscribe to the channel if you want to see more speed builds and other videos about The Sims, because this is the year of Simlify, I have decided, as I've said in previous videos, and I'm going to be making sure that I will be uploading lots of content for you. I've actually got lots of video footage to edit and voiceover, so got lots kind of in the bank at the moment that I will be uploading soon. So lots of exciting things happening, and it's been really fun so far to engage with lots of you, mainly on Instagram, but also through the YouTube channel. So I absolutely love clutter in The Sims, and I wanted to make sure there was a bit of clutter. I didn't want it to be too cluttered. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's minimalist, this build, but it's very kind of clean, I think is the best kind of word to describe it. So I didn't want loads of clutter, but plants and a little bit of kitchen clutter, fine, perfect. And then I just thought that this wall that I had to build to go around the roof that stuck out was great as a feature wall for the TV. And then here I go through a load of rugs. This is one thing in my builds that happens a lot. I just can never settle on a rug because I like so many of them, and then there might be one that I think, oh yeah, that'll work, and then it's not quite the swatch I want, and there are so many different ones to choose from, and then I'll spend ages trying to find one that I know exists but I can't find. So anyway, we get there in the end, and we've got that lovely table there, which is from, I think, the garden pack, like patio pack. I can't quite remember what the name is, but it's something like patio stuff. And obviously I wanted to have lots of plants in this build because I love plants in The Sims 4. So just wanted to bring some of the outside in, make it a little bit green. So we have this kind of entranceway here, which I wanted it to be sort of separating the house from the outside, so the Sims would come in, they'd kind of like get all the snow off of their shoes and take their coats off and everything, and then they walk in and it's all warm and cozy inside. With the free holiday pack that we got recently, the update to that, we got this kind of faux fireplace, and I thought that that would work really well in this build because I didn't think that they would actually have a fireplace in an igloo. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I was trying to think, you know, don't have too many open flames in the house made of ice. So I put in this faux fireplace and then this kind of wood, it's kind of like these little logs with tiny, tiny, tiny tea lights in them. And maybe they are actually battery powered and they're not open flames. You can decide about that. I don't quite know how it works in real igloos. I'm sure it's much more technologically advanced than I think. I don't really have that much knowledge of igloos, I have to say. And then I really liked this wood artwork that we got that is kind of like little stumps all put together. I thought that was lovely, and I wanted to kind of have an aspect of nature in this build, so I thought that worked really nicely. And then I was just creating a little bit of a reading area there so that it's nice and cozy. And then we, as you can see, like I was saying earlier, there is room to expand because there's quite a lot of room in this one room with the kitchen and the living room and everything. So you could actually cordon a bit of that off and have it as a second bedroom, and I think that would be fine. Like this space here that I'm doing now could have easily been walled off and been a small bedroom for a child or something, but at the moment I'm making it into kind of an office area, I suppose, with a computer, because Sims always need a computer, don't they? They like to play their Sims forever and their Blick Block. It's a really good way to get their fun up, so when you want to fulfill their needs, a computer is excellent for that, and for lots of other things as well, ordering things and finding a job and socialising and upping the parenting skill, lots of different things. And also some Sims need it for their job, so some of them will need to do some work from home, or they have to do certain things in order to get promoted, and they have to do that from the computer, from home, from the computer. So you could see there I was putting in a table and kind of like artwork and stuff, and then I decided that didn't look right, and then I thought, oh, obviously we need fish. We need a fish tank in this igloo because, you know, igloo, ice, they're going to be catching fish, and maybe they want to keep it in their igloo. So then just moving on to the bedroom now, this is obviously all very open plan. You could create a wall through that kind of walkway there between the living area and the bedroom and put a door there if you wanted to, but I thought, you know, if it's just one bedroom at the moment and you've only got 1 or 2 Sims living there, it doesn't really need to be all walled off, but you could definitely change that. And then I decided that I wanted to make a little bit of a feature with this kind of twiggy light that we got, so I was just sizing them up and down behind the bed to make a kind of twiggy headboard, I suppose. Then I wanted to put a wardrobe in, but because it was on a diagonal, the wall ended up being too wide or too long for a small wardrobe and too small for a large wardrobe. So just had to put a wardrobe in front of it in the end, which I think looked fine. And then just making sure that we have a bathroom, because obviously that's very important. The disappointing thing here was that none of the showers faced the way I wanted them to, so I wanted the tiles of the shower and the kind of shower head to be against the right hand wall, but none of them faced that way, so I just added in another wall there, so it's kind of an enclosed shower, almost like a, I don't know, a built-in walk-in shower, and then just put in the toilet and trying to find a sink. So many other sinks are really, really bulky. They don't really, like, I would have liked to have a sink that only comes out as far as the toilet, but, you know, you can't have everything. So I just built this extra wall there to get rid of that pointy corner, so that we could have a sink across there. And then just adding a little bit of clutter, I suppose clutter, but really it's necessary if the Sims needed to engage with towels, but you know, you have towels in a bathroom, I hope. And I've also, you may have noticed, used these bulbs all the way throughout the house. I just love them. I think they look really kind of rustic, but they can look really posh if you put them in the right kind of build, and I just thought that they really suited this build. I tried to get this sparkly tree in a pot and none of the pots would fit it, so in the end we went against that. And I also thought that the dressing tables were a bit too bulky, so I just added a mirror in there, but if you download this from the gallery, you can definitely put a dressing table in there. And then I wanted to line this kind of hallway / walkway with fairy lights, so that was a little bit difficult to do because of the way that you could view it with the walls up, as in you couldn't, because if you put the walls up then the roof was up. So we got there in the end, and I think I made them pink because they weren't really showing up when they were white, and I just thought pink was quite sweet, but obviously you could change the colour if you wanted to, and you could probably do a little bit more with the walkway. I didn't really plan to, and then just making sure that we've got kind of a walkway out to that jacuzzi out there. And then I decided that that was my phone, sorry about that, and then I decided there was a bit too much space in the living room, so I just added a chessboard in there and some chairs so that your Sims can play some chess and get their logic skill up. And then just making a little bit of a tiled area outside so that your Sims can play in the hot tub. I mean, they can woohoo in the hot tub if, you know, that's what they want to do. So they don't really have a garden in this build as such, but there's a lot of area around it, and I do have some kind of landscaping going. I think, yeah, I'm trying to put the trees and things in. So I wanted some of these lit up sparkly trees, and then kind of these trees that look like Christmas trees going in as well. At night time I think it looks quite pretty with the sparkly trees, and then I just had some kind of lanterns go around the build as well, but I didn't think that it would have too much light around it because you wouldn't really be sticking lights into the outside of the ice that makes up the igloo, I suppose. I mean, like I said, I don't have that much experience with igloos. If you do, please do let me know in the comments below what you think an igloo should look like. But here are the screenshots in the lovely snow. So I think it looks quite pretty, and it's almost like the igloo is starting to be hidden by the amount of snow that's fallen because of the terrain that we've done. And this is inside. And I was really happy with this build, so let me know what you think. Do give it a like if you like it. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. If you are making videos on YouTube or sharing your builds somewhere, let me know because I love to see them. I love to be inspired by all of your builds. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you soon.